So tell me something. Have you ever noticed how the stories we build around certain people are more seductive than the people themselves? Take Harry and Meghan, for example. For years, they were the royal couple everybody loved to psychoanalyze. Freedom fighters to some, villains to others. Victims of palace machinery, architects of their own chaos. It depends which tabloid or YouTuber you asked. But regardless of where you stood, they were fascinating. And then this new chapter showed up, the Hollywood chapter. And honestly, it's way messier than anything Buckingham Palace ever scripted. Because here's the twist most folks weren't expecting. After all the talk about independence, financial autonomy, and building a new legacy far from the crown, it turns out the empire may have been held up by one guy, Tyler Perry. Yeah, the same Tyler Perry who makes feature-length movies faster than most people make coffee. Hollywood mogul, billionaire, self-made creative machine. And for a while there, he was also the lifeline of the Sussex rebrand. But the fairytale gloss? It's been cracking. Not because Meghan wore the wrong dress to the coronation that never happened, or because Harry said something wild in yet another interview. Nah, this chapter is quieter, more grown up, and honestly more stressful. It's about rumor, debt, and the kind of financial tension tabloids can't resist. It's about whispered Hollywood insider chatter, about deals that didn't perform, and friendships that may have been strained by expectations and silence. And the center of gravity in all of it? A mansion in Montecito, the house that became the physical metaphor for their new life. Palm trees, ocean mist, security gates, and a mortgage that makes accountants sweat. Before we go any deeper, if you're into royal drama, Hollywood implosions, or just watching the way public narratives mutate in real time, go ahead and tap subscribe. It helps the channel a ton, and this rabbit hole is only getting deeper. Now, rewind to 2020. Meghan and Harry do the most dramatic exit since Diana once outran a pack of paparazzi through Paris traffic. First Canada, then the US. Every headline had its own character arc. They said they needed to escape the institution, escape the press, escape what Harry called the emotional carnage. They talked about safety, mental health, new beginnings, all themes that resonated with American audiences especially. But one detail got quietly overshadowed by the spectacle. New beginnings aren't free. Housing, not free. Security, very not free. Starting over with zero palace credit line, definitely not free. That's where Tyler Perry enters like a third-act savior in a movie that hasn't decided if it's a drama or a satire. He offers them a place to stay, full security detail, privacy, space, and protection from the media circus. To outsiders, it looked noble, even wholesome, like a Hollywood fairy godfather sprinkling kindness instead of pixie dust. Except, rumors now suggest the generosity didn't stop there. According to those ever-mysterious industry insiders and gossip reporters, a financial bridge allegedly appeared, the kind that involves seven-figure numbers whispered behind the scenes. Supposedly not a formal structured loan, more like the wealthy friend version of, "I got you, pay me back when you can," a phrase that's warm at the time and cold later when lawyers get involved. Maybe that's the most American part of this whole saga. In Hollywood, friendships and finances are always dancing a little too close. What makes this particularly juicy is that the Sussex brand publicly framed itself as strong, independent, and capable. No palace funding, no Duchy of Cornwall stipends, no hidden royal subsidies, just hustle. Netflix, Spotify, book deals, documentaries, interviews, opportunities, influence. From the outside, it looked like money trees were blooming all along the California coastline. Except, and let's be honest, signing a multi-million-dollar contract isn't the same as collecting the cash flow from one. Streaming platforms pay on delivery, on milestones, on performance, not up front like the movies make it seem. And those projects didn't exactly go platinum. Spotify fizzled, Netflix peaked early, then cooled. Their Archewell Foundation struggled to keep donations above expenses. U.S. nonprofits don't get graded on vibes, they get graded on paperwork, and U.S. auditors are very patient people, right up until they're not. If you're still here and you love dissecting how PR and reality often have nothing to do with each other, go ahead and drop a comment. Do you think Harry and Meghan were unprepared for Hollywood, or did Hollywood simply reject the royal act? I'm genuinely curious where people land on that spectrum. Now, let's fast forward. Tyler Perry lists his mansion in Montecito. Normal on its own, assets move all the time. But Hollywood gossip rags start connecting dots. The mansion goes on the market. Meanwhile, whispers float that Perry and the Sussexes aren't as tight as they once were. Allegedly, emphasis on allegedly, calls didn't get returned, texts didn't get answered, and somewhere along the line, the vibe shifted from godfather to creditor. And suddenly, the narrative isn't about freedom anymore. It's about debt, about borrowed time, about whether the Sussex fairy tale was funded or fragile. One thing people forget is that when Harry walked away from the firm, he walked away from a built-in financial ecosystem. In the UK, the monarchy runs on institutional money, property, land, investments, trusts, tax exemptions. It's not cash under a mattress. It's a centuries-long financial scaffolding. In America, you get none of that. No security funding, no housing, no staff, no buffer, no family office stepping in when Netflix underperforms. Meghan once said they wanted financial independence. Turns out, independence is expensive. And the palace wasn't exactly eager to sponsor Act Two. Not after Spare, not after Oprah, not after the docuseries. Whatever goodwill remained evaporated in mutual interviews and bullet-point grievances. Harry burned the bridge, and William apparently paved over the ashes. By 2024, if sympathy ever lived in Buckingham Palace, it had packed its bags and gone on permanent holiday. Which brings us back to why the Tyler Perry rumor hit so hard. If that loan existed, again, rumor, speculation, insider talk, then defaulting isn't just a financial issue, it's a narrative wrecking ball. The Sussex story required independence at all costs. If independence required loans, that's not independence, that's leverage. And leverage always has a due date. Meanwhile, Hollywood is watching because Hollywood always watches money. It doesn't care about crowns or coronations or who said what about who in Kensington Palace bathrooms. It cares about liquidity. It cares about image. It cares about who is safe to invest in and who is a PR time bomb. And Hollywood hates time bombs. If you're following so far, hit like, purely so the algorithm knows scandal watchers are a real demographic. Here's where things get even more uncomfortable. Legal disputes among wealthy people have no chill. If this ever became a lawsuit, Discovery would peel back everything. Bank statements, emails, deal memos, accountant notes, silent negotiations, foundation records. And Discovery doesn't care about PR. Discovery is reality TV for spreadsheets. The Sussex brand, as critics point out, was powered by attention, not stability. Attention sells documentaries and memoirs, but it doesn't guarantee renewals. It doesn't guarantee advertisers. It doesn't guarantee donors. Archewell, their big philanthropic pillar, quietly hit turbulence. Public filings showed expenses that outpaced donations, staff turnover, IRS notices. All legal, all solvable, all explainable, but also not the kind of thing you want trending if you're trying to project billionaire energy from a seaside mansion. And that mansion itself, the crown jewel of their post-royal lifestyle, suddenly looks different in hindsight. Less symbol of liberation, more symbol of risk. It was supposed to prove they made it. Instead, according to Rumor World, it proved they needed help. What makes this story feel almost tragic is that none of this is about villains or saints. It's about expectation versus reality. The palace world raised Harry to never worry about money. Hollywood raised Meghan to always chase opportunity. And America raised them both to think reinvention is just a documentary away. But reinvention isn't free. Reinvention has invoices. So where does it go from here? That's the million-dollar question, or the multi-million-dollar question if the insider rumors have even a sliver of truth. A comeback is possible. America loves redemptions. A quiet retreat is possible. Obscurity is the final stage of every fame cycle. Or they could double down and build a new chapter, but without cash flow, chapters stop mid-sentence. If you've got predictions, drop them in the comments. Do they rebound? Do they fade? Do they pivot into politics? Do they go back to the UK someday, tail between their legs? People have strong opinions on that one. Whatever happens next, one thing seems certain. The Montecito mansion wasn't just real estate. It was a receipt, a reminder that independence is only glamorous when you can afford it. And if you've watched this far, seriously, thanks for hanging with me. Go ahead and subscribe if you want more deep dives into royal chaos, Hollywood implosions, or any scandal that blends money, power, and storytelling, because those are always the juiciest kinds. Appreciate you being here. Thank you.